Yay! Okay. Hi. Oh man, crazy hair today. Welcome. So excited to be doing Crush My Cookie again. Hold on. Where did my sound effects go? That's like, all right. So there we go. Yay! We are officially here for Crush My Cookie for this week. I'm so excited. We've got some submissions that I think you're going to like because they kind of go with the season, but they answer some really cool questions and good questions that I get a lot with cookies. And they're questions that I have also asked myself at some point about royal icing and cookie decorated and all of that. So hi, everyone. Welcome. So excited to have you on this episode of Crush My Cookie. I'm here to help you get better at royal icing, cookie decorating, so you can feel confident and either sell your cookies or just be proud of your work. That was the big thing for me when I started, is like I felt so good doing the cookies, and I just wanted to be really proud of what I was creating. For those of you who are new, I'm Lauren, also known as Lolly, and I am the creator behind Lolly's Home Kitchen. I found cookies during a really difficult time in my life. I have my youngest son. I've got 3 kids, and my youngest son is a heart kiddo, meaning he was born with a number of heart defects. It was a really difficult time. We spent a lot of time in the hospital, and through that time, I was introduced to cookies, and it became my therapy, and it really helped me. And I figured and knew that if it helped me find myself and become a whole new person, I knew it could help other people too. So a lot of you may have seen Cookie Camp. You may have seen some of my classes. You may have seen me online sharing about my life with my kids and running a business and everything. And I'm so excited to be bringing you Crush My Cookie today. So we're going to crush some cookies so that you can crush your cookie decorating. Is everybody okay if we get started? Let me know if you can hear me, you can see me, and we're all good. All right, let's get started. Oh, well, that was fun. Yay, let's get into it today. Okay. This first request, okay, let me make sure we can see it. Can y'all see it? Yay. This first request comes from Tammy, and Tammy said she needs help making it better. Some of my beading seeped together. When I used flood consistency, she thought maybe she should have used detail consistency instead. Okay, here's the thing with consistency. And maybe there we go. It's going to be a little bit bigger for you to see. So here's the thing with consistency. It can be tricky. And I remember when I first tried royal icing, I completely failed at it, right? This was before I got into like this kind of sugar cookie decorating. But I've always loved to bake and make stuff, right? You don't have to be creative to do cookie decorating, but I thought, well, hey, let me try royal icing. I failed, and I was like, well, that's not for me. I'm never going to do it again. And then I realized when I got back into cookie decorating that, oh, consistency, if I practice that, like I can make all these other designs that I want. So I just actually taught a class, it's basically a mini master class on consistency inside our membership. Where I go over all of the different consistencies, how to get them, how to really get that confidence in knowing that you have the right consistency. Usually, yes, you probably need to go a little thicker, because something that I think a lot of cookiers forget is that your icing will normally begin to separate. And when you mix it up, there's a little bit of time between when you mix it and when you actually put it on the cookie, and it can soften up during that time. I always like to go, here's my rule for that, right? So that I can make sure that where the icing I mix up and that consistency is the same consistency that lands on the cookie, is I always mix it up just a tiny bit thicker. Because once it's in the bag, it might sit for a few minutes, and the warmth of your hand can affect it too. So I would say specifically on these. So Tammy, if you're watching, here's what I would say specifically about these. And hold on. Before I start crushing cookies, right? Y'all have to be able to take this with a grain of salt. I want to help you get better. And I know that, man, sometimes I used to ask people, hey, what do you think of my cookies? They're like, oh, great. But you know that they know that there's like maybe something there that you're missing. And it's like, okay, I don't believe in like perfect everything, right? Like, we're not meant to be perfect. We're meant to like learn throughout the process, but like you want to feel proud of your work. So I am here. I'm going to be honest about your cookies because I want to help you. And so hopefully you can take this with a grain of salt. Tammy, absolutely, you should have gone a little bit thicker on your beading around the edges. And I would probably practice first getting real consistent little dots. And you don't have to practice on cookies. You can practice on a piece of parchment paper, paper towel, or something else. It's all about repetitions. My husband says this all the time. He's a CPA. We're total opposites, right? He deals with numbers. I deal with everything creative. And he always says, oh, it's about the reps. And I was like, what do you mean? It's about the reps. And it's about the practice. It's about how many times you do something. And the more you do something, your muscle memory kicks in, like it kind of starts to turn on autopilot. So that's the same with this kind of beading. And okay, this happens. I go into lots of different topics, but I'm gonna bring it back to the consistency of these beads. If you are noticing things seeping together, if you're doing florals and it's like my florals aren't staying the shape I want, you need thicker icing to start with. Also, and I this is a hill I will die on. If you're doing details that you want to make sure do not change after you put it on the cookie, you have to start with fresh icing. If you are trying to use old icing, you will run into a problem at some point. So that's a hill I'll die on. Always use fresh icing. Doesn't mean you can't bring in some old icing. Anyway, I go over all that in various classes and things, but yeah, if it's seeping together, it means that it's too thin and you can thicken it up, or just don't thin it out too much in the first place. Okay. Is that helpful to anybody? We have this thing in the Lolly community. If you're one of our rockstar cookiers in our group, maybe you're one of our members, maybe you're one of my dough makers. If you hear something today that stands out to you, it helps you learn something, make sure that you drop a gem in the comments. I love sharing gems, and I love to know that it's landing and helping you out. So drop a gem emoji in the comments if any of this helps you today. All right, I think we are ready. We're going to move on to the next one. I could go on and on about cookies, you guys. So it's so fun for me to do this. All right, thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you for submitting your cookies for me to review. All right, our next one, let me get it ready up here on the screen for you. This next one comes from Sharon. And I know I want to make sure you guys can see it too. All right. Sharon has shared these cookies here. And Sharon wants to make sure she gets some help making them better. What does that mean? She says, the whole thing, I'm embarrassed to share these at my grandson's birthday. I thought they would be much easier, but I struggled the whole way through. They definitely are not the look I was going for, but I don't have time to redo them. And my projector was not working. So that's a problem too. Okay, there's a lot. And if you're getting into cookies and you're like, oh, wait a second, this is a little bit overwhelming. Here's the thing. We want to maybe focus on one thing at a time, because if we focus on everything, we get stuck. And I am speaking from 1,000% experience, right? Like I do that to myself all the time where I'm like, oh, I need to get this done and this done. And I want to work on these 10 things. It's like, holy cow, if I'm trying to work on 10 things, I'm not going to make much progress on any of them. So let's focus on one thing at a time. The thing that I want to share about this picture. Okay. So Janine, rest easy. I have lots of support for you in our Rockstar Cookier Society. And you seem like you'd probably be a good fit for the membership too, because we can tackle all of the things that you want to get better at. I'm going to pull out one, and it is the amount of flood you're putting in these sections. I think it is probably the thing that will solve most of your problems with this, or most of what you see as issues. And that is, you do not have enough icing in each section. So the purple here, like if anything is dimpling like that, cratering is a different thing. We'll talk about that another time. If it's dimpling like you see all over here, then this means you don't have enough icing on there. You really want to pump that icing in. Also, I can see it's all about consistency too. So you really want to have a good base confidence in your consistencies that you're making. And you don't want it too thick, but you also don't want it too thin, right? So you want to have the right consistency for the design that you're doing, and you want to fill them. So this red section and the yellow and this cute little turkey and the purple, I would say, needs probably about 3 times more icing than is there. And it's so funny because I think new cookiers go either way. It's like they'll like really pump it on and they'll overfill and have to like pull back, right? Or I see cookiers that are a little nervous to put in too much icing because they don't want it to run over the edge, but then it's not enough coverage. All right. I love to push the limits. Push yourself to the limit that you're afraid of with your icing, and you don't know where the limit is until you push that limit and see how much icing you can get on there before it flows over the edge. And then you'll know exactly what that looks like, what that feels like. And then you can kind of pull back from there. Okay. So it's all about getting that confidence in your consistency, pushing the limits with how much icing you can get on the cookie, right? I like a thick amount of icing on my cookies. That's preference, but that's kind of typical of royal icing sugar cookie designs. Nowadays anyway. Okay, did that help anybody? How's everybody doing? Okay, let's thank you, Janine. I want to thank Janine for submitting that cookie, and I hope this has helped. Okay, let's see who is up next. We're going to be bringing Sharon's picture up here. Sharon has a question about, let's see, help making it better, the whole cookie, okay? The whole cookie. Well, there's a few cookies here, and these are so fun. I love the black outline on like a character cookie. It really brings things to life. I have a rule of 3, okay? And I go over it in pretty great detail. I also have some resources inside my core cookie camp. If you have not taken cookie camp yet, even if you've tried to do cookies and everything, oh my gosh, it's so good. There's a rule of 3. Decoration wise, you want your base icing like a flood. You want some decoration, and then you want some detail. So again, this is something, if you want me to let you look at the whole cookie, I'm going to pull one thing out that I think could be really impactful and help you. And this would be, these cookies are not all following that rule of 3. All right. So we do have a base shape flood on the top, on the top, and these cute little, the Ninja Turtles. We have some additional, texture and decoration on the turtles here, but these ones on the top, we've just got the lettering. I think it would be really cool to add some sort of texture or detail to the green flood, maybe before putting the letters on. Same with the numbers, or maybe we just leave them as is and we do like another kind of an outline around the circle of the cookie just to add a little bit more detail. It's just crazy. It is crazy. That rule of 3, okay, can really help in our presentation of these cookies and helps us feel like, well, okay, yes, I'm delivering like a wow, a wow factor, not only to ourselves who make the cookies, but a wow factor to the people that get to enjoy them too. It feels good. It feels good to have somebody appreciate the work that you're doing on all of these, because it's a lot of love and elbow grease that goes into these. You all know, right? If you're here, you're like, I want to know. Anyway, okay, Sharon, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for submitting your cookie. All right, I've got 2 more. You guys want to stay? Hear me out. Here, I've got 2 more that I want to go over. Sue is up next. And we are getting into an Easter holiday, which I love so much. There are so many Easter cookies that I've been wanting to make. And so we're going to go over this cute little bunny. All right. Sue is asking for some help making it better. I want to improve on the details, especially the eyes. Oh, how many times have we felt inadequate when it comes to putting faces or eyes on cookies. I know I have, and I still gotta, you know, mentally think through it before I put my faces on my cookies. So here's a couple of things we can do. Eyes, let's see. It's looking like, Sue, that you'd used, I don't know if it was a brush. I can't tell if that is watercolor, and then you've got some white icing over. I think so. I think. You've got a good thing going with the placement. I think the placement is good on the eyes themselves. It's the catch light. Okay, so the catch light on an eye is really important, because that's what makes it feel like it's got that human element and not just like a dead shape, right? So for anyone wanting to make their faces and their eyes look good, okay, like you want to be proud of those, I would say, so I'm going to critique this specifically because this is the cookie that was submitted. I do see a little difference in the catch light in where they are placed on that black circle. I'm going to see, no, it won't let me zoom in anymore. So on this side over here, the catch light is on the right. On this side, it's on the left. You want those catch lights in the same position on each eye. Okay, so it's looking in one direction. It doesn't look cross-eyed or off or something like that. And there's also a couple ways to do eyeballs. So this, you've got the black base shape, and then it looks like white icing. That's one way to do it. You can use black icing and then a little bit of the white icing. It creates like a flood, a wet on wet flood for the eyeball. Follow the same rule for that catch light placement. The other one is they can be drawn on. You can even go as simple as like little dots. I've done that before, where it's just one, you know, I just want like a little, I don't want to make the eyes or face complicated, so I do just a couple of dots. So depending on the face design that you're doing, that can work. But anyway, catch light placement, you got good shape down, but I would say make sure that your catch lights are on the same spot on each eyeball. So this looking in the, so it's actually looking somewhere. All right. Let me know if this is helping anybody. Who is trying to do faces right now and having trouble, or has, you know, in the past couple of weeks? Is anybody struggling? Anybody else struggling with faces? We've got a lot of cute characters coming up for these spring holidays. So hopefully that helps you. Thank you so much, Sue, for submitting your cookie. And all right, another cute little bunny. I want to go over this one. So fun. This comes from Lily. Lily, let's talk about this. It's so cute. This shape is so cute. Outline using royal icing and screens. I need help making it better. Okay. Screens. Okay. I can see that she's got the stencil and screened on the pattern, which I don't think you need any help there, Lily, on that one. It looks like you did a really nice stencil job. It looks like you've got thick enough icing. I would say that's the trick with stenciling icing onto a stencil. You need thick icing if you're doing that. Let's talk outline though. It comes back to it's the C word in cooking, which is consistency. Okay, consistency. Yes, that is what we want to remember here. Is, I would say, when you're doing some detail piping, all right, there's two kinds of detail that come into cookiers' minds when they do this: is detail like super thick, or detail piping holds enough shape, it's thicker than an outline, right? Detail to really do this sort of thing, right? So this, we want to define our shapes with some quote unquote detail icing. Really, it's like it's a piping consistency, I would say, straight out of the mixer, or maybe a little bit thinned down, so it has a little stickiness to it. This is the type of detail consistency that needs stickiness. A thick detail, that's like for florals and stuff. You do not want a super thick detail when you're doing this outline stuff. But I can see the outline put here is a little much on the thin side, and that's why it's beating up, and it's not necessarily like an even line all the way around. So I would go a little bit thicker there. But yeah, I would say otherwise, so cute and really nice job on the stenciling. This cratering on this bow, when also it caused because the icing is a little too thin. And so once the water evaporates from the icing on this bow, for instance, then there's not enough of the icing structure left and it can crater. So I would go a little bit thicker on that too. But this is so cute. And I'm so excited for this Easter holiday. Anybody else? Anybody else excited? Okay. Yay. Awesome, Lily. Thank you so much for submitting this cookie and letting me crush it for you. And I hope this helps. Okay. How's everybody doing? Everybody still here with me? Okay. I'm having so much fun today. But that is it for the cookies that I'm going to be crushing. Make sure that you get your submissions in for next time. We do allow submissions inside the Royal Crew membership, and also our dough makers get to do that. So if you are interested in being able to submit, make sure that you check out the membership. You can find all the links at lollyshomekitchen.com or right here on the Lolly's page or wherever you're watching from. I also want to make sure for anyone that is beginning to or thinking about selling your cookies, make sure that you, I don't know if it's going to let me drop it here. Okay. So I am sharing some business resources for those that are interested. So make sure that you get on my list and my email list. I share all sorts of inspiration and information, new tutorials coming out, all sorts of different things there. And I would love to get to know you and send you some really cool stuff via email. Make sure that you get on my list. And I'm also going to be sending out some business resources. Then actually, let me see if I have tons of freebies for you guys too. I always have those. So catch one of my freebies. You can find that right inside the Rockstar Cookier Society or via my social channels. And there's one other quick link I wanted to share. Oh yeah. Okay. So specifically for anyone interested in selling your cookies on the business side and you want those business resources, go to lollyscookieclass.com/freedom. Okay. Get on that list and I will send you information about pricing your cookies, how to actually make money with cookies, because there's a lot of cottage bakers that are like me when I started, where I thought I was making money, but I wasn't. My CPA husband came and told me that it's cool that you're doing cookies, sweetheart, but you're not actually making money when you look at the P&L at the end of the day. So I want you, if you're going to spend time and you're going to spend effort in turning it into a business, let me help you actually make it profitable, because that's probably the whole reason that you're doing it anyway, is you want to make some money on the side, right? There's various things online about teaching classes and doing all sorts of things, but I have tried and true methods for helping you actually make money with cookies. Okay. So Lolly's, what did I say? Go to lollyscookieclass.com/freedom. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure that you catch this next time on Crush My Cookie. And thank you so much. Bye, everybody. See you next time.